There are moments when you walk through a room and feel small, like a single candle trying to outshine a city. You move through life offering your best, your time, your patience, your gentle words, and it seems like the world simply nods and moves on. You wonder whether anyone truly recognizes the value you bring, whether anyone sees the shape of your soul or the quiet courage in your choices. You ask, almost silently, does any of this matter? And I'm here to tell you something that will steady your heart. Someone recognizes your worth. Someone knows exactly how great you are. That someone is God. He didn't stumble upon you by accident. He didn't throw together your days and call it a trial run. He handcrafted you with intention. Before your first breath, before your earliest memory, God thought of you. He formed the unique rhythm of your heartbeat, the particular way kindness comes out of you, the resilience that shows up even when your body is tired and your spirit is thin. You are not an afterthought. You are a deliberate masterpiece, shaped by hands that sculpt galaxies and tend sparrows. The same breath that set the stars in motion breathed life into you. That truth alone should alter the way you see yourself. Listen, worth is not measured by applause or by the number of eyes on you. Worth is not defined by a job title, a follower count, or the loudest voice in the room. Worth is measured by the one who made you. While people may evaluate you by what they see, God evaluates you by who you are becoming, by the tiny faith you show in the dark, by the uncelebrated acts of mercy you plant like seeds in the soil of someone's heart. He keeps a record of every quiet sacrifice. He remembers the nights you stayed up to pray, the times you swallowed pride to offer peace, the moments you chose forgiveness when bitterness would have been easier. There is a difference between being noticed and being known. The world notices performance. God knows essence. He sees past your scars and reads the courage in your scar stories. He looks beyond your failures and finds the lessons you never wanted to learn but now carry like polished stones. In His eyes, your history is not a list of mistakes, but a map of how you've been guided, corrected, and refined. He doesn't tally your missteps to condemn you. He charts them to show that you are being prepared. Preparation is not punishment. Preparation is proof that something great is being built inside of you. So when the voices of doubt whisper that you're insignificant, answer with a firmer truth. You were designed by the one who measures the universe. His recognition of you trumps every fleeting opinion of man. The Creator who set boundaries for the seas appointed you a place in His grand design. That means your life carries weight that cannot be taken away by criticism, neglect, or failure. Even in seasons where your efforts seem invisible, know this: what God has invested in you is real, and it is tending roots that will one day bear extraordinary fruit. You may be walking through a season of silence where doors stay closed and applause is absent. Instead of measuring defeat, measure refinement. Every closed door has a reason. Sometimes God withholds public recognition to protect your heart, to preserve the humility you need when the spotlight finally finds you. Sometimes He delays your breakthrough to deepen your capacity to steward it. Trust that these pauses are not erasures but preparation. Keep showing up in small ways. Keep faithful in hidden places. The world may not notice now, but heaven keeps faithful accounts. You see, the greatness God has placed within you is not always loud. It doesn't shout to be heard or demand to be seen. True greatness often begins in the quiet, in whispered prayers, in unseen obedience, in moments when you choose integrity over applause. God recognizes that. He values it more than the world ever could. When He looks at you, He doesn't just see a person trying to survive. He sees someone carrying divine potential. You were never created to blend in. You were born to reflect the brilliance of His image in a world that has forgotten how to see light. There's a sacred kind of strength that grows in the shadows. When you've walked through pain and still choose compassion, that's greatness. When you've been betrayed but still love without bitterness, that's greatness. When you've failed but rise again with humility, that's greatness. The world may overlook these moments, but heaven celebrates them, because greatness is not about being known by many. It's about being known by God and being faithful in what He's placed in your hands. Sometimes we think greatness is measured by outcomes, by success, by progress, by recognition, but God measures it by faithfulness. He calls you great not because of what you have achieved, but because of what you've endured with grace. Every time you kept believing when there was no reason to, you revealed divine greatness. Every time you chose peace instead of retaliation, you revealed His nature through you. You may not wear a crown the world can see, but you are royalty in the eyes of heaven. Remember this, God does not overlook greatness just because it's quiet. He has a way of honoring what others ignore. The one who fed thousands from a few loaves can multiply your smallest act of faith into a legacy far beyond your sight. The one who turned water into wine can turn your ordinary obedience into extraordinary impact. Nothing you've done in love is wasted. Not one tear, not one prayer, not one step of perseverance goes unnoticed. You have been seen. You have been recognized, and you have been called great. When you start to see yourself through God's eyes, something shifts. You stop striving for validation and start walking in peace. You stop comparing and start celebrating your own divine design. You realize that you don't need to chase opportunities. The right ones will find you, because God is the one who directs them. You begin to walk differently. You carry yourself with quiet confidence. Not arrogance, but assurance. Not pride, but peace. Because you finally understand that your worth was never up for debate. Every time you think you're behind, remember, God's timing is never late. Every time you think you're forgotten, remember, heaven never forgets. You are being shaped, strengthened, and seasoned for something greater than you can imagine. The greatness in you is not waiting to be earned. It's already been placed there by the one who called you His own. That's why you feel an ache for more, because your spirit knows you were made for more. You were designed not just to survive this life, but to shine within it. There will be days when the world questions your value, when others diminish your worth. But you must remember, their limited vision does not define your eternal value. The same God who spoke light into darkness spoke greatness into you. You are the reflection of His intentional design. You carry His brilliance. You hold His signature within your soul. And because of that, your worth is not fragile. It cannot be broken by rejection or erased by failure. You are anchored in divine recognition. You may not always feel that greatness stirring inside you, but feelings are not the measure of truth. God's declaration over you is, you were created in His image. That means greatness runs through your spiritual DNA. You are not defined by your mistakes, your past, or your limitations. You are defined by the one who spoke life into you. Every season you've endured, every tear you've shed, every battle you've survived has only refined that greatness. You've been shaped in fire so your light can shine brighter. Do you know why God allows certain struggles to come your way? Because He trusts you with them. He sees strength in you that you don't yet see in yourself. The weight you carry is not a punishment, it's a trust He wouldn't allow the test if He hadn't already placed the power to overcome inside you. That's how much He recognizes your worth. He believes in what He created, and He believes in you. Some people may underestimate you because they can't see what God has planted in you. They may call you ordinary because they don't recognize divine craftsmanship, but God does. He's been shaping you quietly in the waiting, in the setbacks, in the silence. You are not being overlooked. You are being prepared. Sometimes He hides His greatest creations until the right moment because premature exposure can destroy purpose. So if you feel hidden right now, don't despair. You're not buried, you're planted. In time, what God has nurtured inside of you will break through the surface. Your greatness will emerge in ways that even you didn't expect. The same God who raised David from shepherd to king, who turned Joseph's prison into a palace, who took Esther from obscurity to royalty, that same God has plans for your unveiling. He specializes in taking the unseen and making it undeniable. He does not forget greatness. He reveals it in its appointed season. And when that time comes, you won't need to fight for recognition. You won't need to prove your worth. God Himself will speak through your life. The fruit of your endurance will testify. Those who once doubted you will see His favor resting upon you. But until then, stay faithful in the field you're in. Keep tending the little things. Keep showing love. Keep choosing peace. Keep walking in humility. These are the qualities that prepare you for divine promotion. Because true greatness is not something you chase. It's something you become. And becoming takes time. Every delay, every disappointment, every closed door has been shaping your spirit. The greatness within you is growing roots so it can withstand the weight of your calling. You might not see it, but heaven sees it. The angels have watched you rise again and again, even when no one else noticed. They've seen your tears become prayers and your prayers become strength. That is divine greatness. That is what God calls beautiful. So when you look at yourself, stop seeing a work in progress as something unfinished. See yourself as God does, a masterpiece in motion. Every brushstroke, even the painful ones, is adding depth and brilliance to your story. You are not defined by your cracks. You are defined by the light that shines through them. God doesn't just see your potential. He delights in it. He smiles every time you choose faith over fear, love over hate, purpose over pressure. That is greatness, and it already lives within you. Sometimes greatness is misunderstood because it doesn't fit the world's definition. The world says greatness is about power, wealth, recognition, or success. But God's definition is deeper. It's about character, compassion, and consistency. It's about being faithful in the unseen, kind in the unkind moments, steady in the storms, and humble in the victories. You might not hold a microphone or a spotlight, but heaven sees the greatness in your quiet persistence. Think about how God defines greatness. Jesus said, "Whoever wants to be great must be a servant." That means every time you serve with sincerity, every time you help someone who can't repay you, every time you forgive instead of resent, you are walking in greatness. Greatness in God's kingdom isn't about climbing higher, it's about going deeper. It's about letting love lead when pride wants to rule. It's about reflecting the heart of the one who created you. You are not forgotten. You are not small. The very breath inside of you carries divine purpose. You were made to bring light into dark places, to bring hope into weary hearts, to bring truth into confusion. That is greatness, not because it's loud or impressive, but because it's real. And real greatness changes things, not through noise, but through presence. The quiet way you show up for others, the patience you hold when things feel unfair, the faith you keep when answers don't come, all of it is noticed by God. There's a reason He calls you His masterpiece. He didn't just make you good, He made you great. Every detail of your being carries His signature. Your personality, your voice, your story, none of it is random. The things that make you different are the very things that make you powerful. What others might overlook, God calls essential. What others might dismiss, God calls divine design. You were intentionally made to stand out, not to blend in. But here's what happens when God recognizes greatness in someone. He refines it. He doesn't hand out greatness fully formed. He shapes it through process. That's why the path to purpose often feels like pressure. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Diamonds are born from compression. Oil flows after pressing. Strength is built through struggle. You may not like the shaping, but one day you'll see that it was necessary. Every challenge you faced was unlocking the greatness already within you. You are walking through fire, but not to burn, to shine. You are being stretched, but not to break, to grow. You are being humbled, but not to diminish, to deepen. God doesn't remove your battles. He uses them to reveal your strength. And when He sees that strength, He calls it beautiful. He calls it great. You may not feel like much right now, but remember, David didn't feel like a king when he was herding sheep. Joseph didn't feel favored when he was forgotten in a prison. Greatness rarely feels like greatness when you're in the middle of it. But when God calls it forth, it becomes undeniable. One day you'll look back and realize that every hard moment was shaping something holy in you. The pain taught you patience. The delay taught you trust. The rejection taught you resilience. And through it all, God whispered, "You are mine. You are great. You are worth far more than you know." There are times when you question if any of what you're doing matters, when your heart feels weary, your prayers seem unanswered, and your effort feels unseen. But I want you to pause and remember this truth. Heaven never overlooks faithfulness. Every moment you've chosen to do what's right when no one was watching, every act of kindness you've given without recognition, every time you've chosen faith instead of fear, it has been seen. God keeps record of the details no one else notices. Greatness isn't about how many people acknowledge you. It's about how many moments you choose to honor God with your life. It's about living with integrity when no one applauds, staying gentle when the world is cruel, forgiving when bitterness feels justified. Every one of those choices adds another layer to the greatness that's already inside of you. And that greatness, your divine worth, is not something you have to chase. It's something you were born carrying. You are a reflection of divine creativity. God made no mistake when He shaped your soul. Every ability you have, every quirk, every scar, every part of your story is woven together for something sacred. You were made to carry light, and that light is not fragile. It's resilient. It shines even after heartbreak, it glows through tears, and it grows stronger every time you refuse to give up. That is the kind of greatness that can't be earned. It can only be revealed. When you start to see yourself as God sees you, insecurity loses its grip. You no longer compare yourself to others because you finally understand that comparison is the thief of peace. God did not make you to compete. He made you to complete a purpose only you can fulfill. The uniqueness you sometimes question is the very proof of your divine assignment. If you were meant to be like everyone else, God wouldn't have taken the time to design you so differently. The world celebrates loud victories, but God celebrates quiet endurance. The unseen victories, those moments when you fought private battles and kept your faith alive, are the ones that heaven applauds most. You may never trend. Your name may never be on billboards, but your obedience echoes in eternity. The way you've chosen to love when it was hard, to hope when it was painful, to trust when it was uncertain, that's greatness. That's glory disguised as grace. Don't let the world's noise drown out the quiet truth of your worth. You don't have to chase validation. You don't have to prove yourself. The one who made you already declared you valuable, and His voice carries more authority than every other voice combined. When He says, "You are great," that word is eternal. No opinion can override it, no failure can erase it, and no rejection can change it. So the next time doubt whispers that you're not enough, remind yourself, you were handpicked by God. Your existence is intentional. You were designed for a purpose that only you can carry. You are not overlooked, you are chosen. You are not lost, you are led. And every step you take, even the small ones, are part of a greater story that heaven is still writing. There's something sacred about living with this awareness. You start walking differently. You speak with kindness because you know you're a vessel of something divine. You forgive quicker because you understand that grace flows through you. You smile more often because you've realized that you're deeply loved. This is what happens when you understand your worth. You start reflecting the greatness that was always there. There will always be moments when the world tries to convince you otherwise, when people misunderstand you, misjudge your motives, or minimize your worth. They may look at your life and only see what's visible, but God sees the unseen, the parts of you that carry the weight of quiet faith. And while the world may overlook you, heaven leans in close. Every time you choose love when life gives you reasons to hate, every time you choose peace when chaos surrounds you, you are walking in divine greatness. You see, the world measures worth by what you produce, but God measures it by who you are becoming. And who you are becoming is someone powerful, someone refined, someone full of grace. The process may hurt, but it's holy. The waiting may feel endless, but it's sacred, because while you're wondering why it's taking so long, God is crafting something eternal. He's forming greatness that will last, not for a moment, but for generations. It's easy to think your story is too ordinary to matter, but nothing about your life is ordinary. You are the intentional work of a divine creator. He's written greatness into your design, your heart, your compassion, your perseverance. They all carry his fingerprint. You don't need a platform to be great. You don't need recognition to have impact. Greatness is not found in the spotlight. It's found in your spirit. Think about it. Jesus wasn't celebrated by crowds for most of his life. He lived quietly, faithfully, obediently. His greatness wasn't proven in the applause. It was proven in his love. And that same kind of greatness lives inside you. Every time you bring peace into a room, every time you choose humility over pride, you are revealing the same heart that beats in the Son of God. You carry the reflection of his greatness in everything you do. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to force it. You don't have to perform for it. Greatness flows naturally from a surrendered heart. When you trust God with your plans, when you let go of control and choose obedience, greatness unfolds quietly, gracefully, powerfully. It's not about doing more. It's about being more of who God designed you to be. The greatness you're looking for is already within you. It just needs space to breathe. So breathe. Breathe in peace, breathe out worry, breathe in grace, breathe out guilt, breathe in faith, breathe out fear. Every breath is a reminder that God still has plans for you. If you were finished, you wouldn't still be here. The fact that you're alive is proof that his purpose in you is still unfolding. You haven't missed your moment. You're in the middle of it. Sometimes greatness doesn't look like triumph. It looks like endurance. It looks like showing up again after disappointment. It looks like loving again after heartbreak. It looks like trying again after failure. Don't underestimate those moments. They're not signs of weakness. They're evidence of divine power. Every step you take in faith is a declaration of greatness because it shows that your hope is anchored in something eternal. And one day you'll realize that all the pain, all the waiting, all the stretching was preparing you to handle the weight of your calling. God's greatness in you cannot be rushed. It's revealed through time, through process, through patience. So keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing that something powerful is being formed in the quiet, because it is. You may not see it yet, but the greatness within you is already at work. Every prayer whispered in the dark, every tear shed in silence, every small act of faith, they are building something eternal. God is constructing a legacy through your life, one unseen moment at a time. You don't have to understand how, you just have to trust that he does, because what he starts, he always finishes. Sometimes God hides your greatness until the world is ready to receive it, not because you're unworthy, but because premature exposure can destroy what's still growing. Think of a seed, buried, unseen, yet full of power. In the soil, it looks lifeless, but beneath the surface, life is happening. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. The same is true for you. Your season of silence is not punishment. It's preparation. You're growing roots deep enough to sustain the greatness that's about to bloom. So if you feel hidden right now, don't lose hope. God hasn't forgotten you. He's fortifying you. He's deepening your faith, maturing your heart, and shaping your spirit. Because when your time comes, and it will, the light that shines from you will be steady, not fleeting. The platform he's preparing for you will not crumble because it's being built on a foundation of faith, not validation. Greatness without foundation collapses, but greatness built on God's timing stands forever. That's why he's taking his time with you. He knows what he placed inside of you, and he knows how to bring it forth perfectly. Every season has purpose. The stillness, the struggle, the stretching, all of it is part of the process. And though you can't see the full picture yet, heaven is applauding every faithful step. You may feel like you're walking through darkness, but remember, light is born in darkness. Stars shine brightest in the night sky. The brilliance of your purpose will emerge from the very places you thought would break you. That's how God works. He transforms brokenness into beauty, pain into power, loss into legacy. The situations that tried to crush you are actually the ones forming your crown. Don't despise your process. The fire you're facing is refining you, not destroying you. God knows exactly how much heat your soul can handle. And every time you walk through it and come out standing, He looks at you and says, "That's my child." That's greatness in motion. You carry the kind of strength that can only be produced through endurance, the kind of beauty that only comes from surviving storms. And listen, your survival is not small. It's not ordinary. It's sacred. Every morning you wake up and choose to keep going, heaven celebrates. You're proof that God's power still sustains. You're evidence that faith still works. You are walking testimony that divine greatness cannot be buried by human pain. The same God who raised Jesus from the grave is breathing life into every buried dream, every hidden gift, every silent prayer in your heart. Don't let the enemy convince you that your delay means you've been denied. Delay is divine timing in disguise. God is not late. He's preparing the stage. And when it's time, He will open doors that no one can shut. He will elevate you in ways that make no sense to the world, but perfect sense to heaven. Your greatness will not come with chaos. It will come with peace. Because when God promotes, He does it with purpose. When God decides to reveal what He has placed inside you, it won't require your striving. It will simply unfold. You won't need to force recognition or beg for opportunities. Divine greatness doesn't chase. It attracts. It draws the right people, opens the right doors, and creates the right moments. The same God who guided Esther to the throne and Daniel to the palace is the same God writing your story. Every detail, even the ones that seem insignificant, are pieces of a greater plan. That's why you must not rush what God is still shaping. The longer the preparation, the stronger the foundation. What takes time to build will stand the test of time. Greatness that is built in a hurry fades in a season, but greatness refined in patience lasts for generations. You are being prepared for longevity, not for a moment of applause. God is investing eternity in you, and while you wait, know this: you are already great, not one day, not when you arrive. Right now, the greatness of God is already in motion within you. Every breath you take carries purpose. Every step you make moves you closer to divine alignment. Even your struggles are serving your calling. Every heartbreak has taught you compassion. Every disappointment has trained your discernment. Every delay has sharpened your faith. The very things that hurt you are the tools that made you. You are not falling behind, you are being refined. You are not overlooked, you are being equipped. You are not forgotten, you are being positioned. This is how God develops greatness, not in crowds, but in caves, not in noise, but in stillness, not in fame, but in faith. When others can't see your progress, heaven is smiling because your roots are growing deep, and those roots will carry fruit that lasts. You will touch lives you don't even know you're impacting. You will plant seeds that bloom long after you're gone. Someone will find hope because you chose to keep walking. Someone will find faith because you refused to quit. Someone will find courage because you stayed kind. You are God's living evidence that greatness doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be faithful. When the day comes and your greatness begins to unfold publicly, remember the private places that shaped it. Remember the tears that watered your prayers. Remember the seasons that tested your patience. Don't forget the times when God was your only audience, because those moments made you who you are. And when the world finally recognizes what heaven already knew, stay humble. Let your success speak softly, but let your gratitude roar. Greatness is not about being above others. It's about lifting others up with you. The same grace that raised you will flow through you. You'll find yourself encouraging the broken, loving the forgotten, serving the unnoticed, because you'll remember what it felt like to be there. God doesn't elevate you for ego. He elevates you for empathy. You are being blessed to be a blessing. And when you walk in that purpose, humble, compassionate, steady, your life becomes a living sermon. Without speaking a word, people will see God's glory through you. They'll recognize something radiant, something peaceful, something powerful, and it won't be because of your name, but because of the one whose name you carry. That's divine greatness. That's who you are. There is a calm confidence that comes when you finally embrace your God-given greatness. It's not pride, it's peace. You begin to move differently, no longer desperate to be seen, no longer anxious to prove yourself. You understand that your value doesn't fluctuate with people's opinions. It's anchored in something eternal. You walk with quiet assurance because you know that heaven recognizes your worth even when the world does not. You stop chasing validation and start walking in purpose. You stop over-explaining yourself to those who don't understand your calling. You start focusing on what God has entrusted to you, no matter how small it may look right now, because you know that small beginnings are sacred beginnings. Every great move of God started with someone ordinary who simply said yes. And that yes, whispered in faith, changed everything. That same yes lives inside you. You might think your influence is small, but it's not. Every smile you share, every word of encouragement you give, every prayer you whisper for someone else, these are acts of greatness. They ripple through eternity in ways you can't see. You may think you're just surviving, but in truth, you are sowing seeds that will bloom in future generations. That's how God measures greatness, not by visibility, but by legacy. When you live from that truth, fear begins to lose its grip. Rejection doesn't sting as much. Failure doesn't define you. You begin to see everything differently. Because when you know who made you and why, you realize that no one else gets to rewrite your worth. God already stamped you with divine approval. His handprint is still on your life. His breath still sustains your lungs. And His purpose still pulses in your veins. And even when you don't feel it, even when doubt clouds your vision, His truth remains. You are still chosen. You are still great. You are still seen. You are still held. God's recognition of you never fades. People may forget your name, but heaven never will. You are written into His story, etched into His design, sealed with His promise. That's where your confidence lives. That's where your peace begins. So walk boldly, even when you feel small. Speak life, even when no one listens. Love deeply, even when it costs you. That's what the great ones do. They reflect God's heart even when it's hard. They keep shining even when shadows surround them. They keep believing even when logic says to give up. And each time you choose faith over fear, you're declaring to the world, I know who I am. I am God's creation. I am great because He made me. This understanding frees you. It lifts the weight of comparison and competition. You stop trying to be better than others and start striving to be faithful to what's been placed in you. Greatness was never meant to be a contest. It's a calling. And when you walk in it, you become unstoppable. Because no opposition can cancel what God has ordained. Even if people walk away, even if doors close, even if seasons shift, your value stays constant. The one who made you great doesn't change His mind. His recognition of you is not dependent on your performance. It's based on His purpose. That means nothing can disqualify you from His love or His plan. You are not working for His approval. You are working from it. So lift your head. Straighten your shoulders. The same God who shaped the stars calls you by name. The same voice that commands galaxies has spoken over your life. You are mine. You are chosen. You are great. When you truly understand that God has already declared you great, you begin to rest differently. The striving stops. The self-doubt quiets. The constant need to prove yourself fades away. You begin to live from assurance, not anxiety. Because you finally realize you don't have to earn what God has already given you. You are walking proof of His creative excellence. You are great, not because of status, success, or strength, but because the Spirit of the Almighty dwells within you. Every time you breathe, His power breathes with you. Every time you rise from difficulty, His greatness rises through you. That's what it means to be divinely made, to carry something eternal inside your humanity. You don't have to look far to find greatness. It's in your resilience, your kindness, your faith that refuses to die. The world will always try to distract you from this truth. It will tell you that greatness looks like wealth, fame, or influence. But God's version of greatness looks like love. It looks like humility. It looks like consistency in chaos. It looks like forgiveness in the face of betrayal. Greatness isn't loud. It's steady. It doesn't boast. It blesses. It doesn't compete. It completes. And even when the world overlooks your goodness, heaven does not. Every good thing you do echoes in eternity. Every prayer you've whispered, every tear you've shed, every kind act you've given in secret, all of it is recorded. God sees, God remembers, God rewards. The applause of men fades quickly, but the approval of heaven endures forever. That's why you never need to beg for attention when you already have divine recognition. Think about it. The same God who painted sunsets thought the world needed your light too. The same God who commands oceans decided that your voice would carry His message. The same God who orchestrates time itself included you in His eternal design. That's not small, that's sacred. You were not born to merely exist. You were born to express divine greatness in human form. And you've already been doing it. Every time you've shown grace where it wasn't deserved, every time you've smiled through tears, every time you've kept faith when it made no sense. Those are not small acts. Those are the quiet flames of greatness burning within you. They are the proof that you are exactly who God says you are. You may have believed that greatness is still ahead of you, some distant version of yourself who finally gets it all right. But the truth is that greatness is already here. It's been living inside you all along, waiting for you to see yourself the way God does. You don't need to chase your worth, you need to awaken to it. When you do, everything changes. You walk lighter because you know you're loved. You speak kinder because you know you're secure. You forgive faster because you know you're free. And you dream bigger because you know the one who made you great has no limits. You begin to live like someone who's already accepted, already anointed, already amazing. So if no one has told you lately, hear this. You are great because God has made you great. Your life is not random, it's written. Your worth is not fragile, it's fixed. Your destiny is not forgotten, it's unfolding. Heaven recognizes your name. Angels have watched your endurance, and God Himself delights in the person you are becoming. You don't need to force your light to shine. Just live in the truth that you already carry it. Walk in your divine identity. Speak from your divine authority, and rest in your divine worth. The one who created galaxies looks at you and says, "This one is mine. This one is great." Sometimes the greatest transformation happens the moment you finally believe what God has been saying about you all along. You've prayed for strength, but He already called you strong. You've asked for worth, but He already declared you valuable. You've begged to be chosen, but you've been chosen since before time began. All that's left is for your heart to align with what heaven already knows. You are great because you belong to the one who is great. There's power in agreement. When your spirit starts to agree with God's truth, the chains of insecurity fall off. The weight of comparison lifts. You stop measuring yourself against what others have and start focusing on what God gave you, because when He formed you, He placed within you every skill, every spark, every ounce of purpose needed for the life you were meant to live. Nothing about you is accidental, and even when you've doubted yourself, He hasn't. Even when you've failed, He hasn't withdrawn His hand. His confidence in you is unshaken. God does not regret making you. He delights in you. You may see flaws, but He sees formation. You may see weakness, but He sees willingness. You may see the mess, but He sees the masterpiece. That's what makes His love so extraordinary. It looks at imperfection and still calls it good. The world tells you that your worth is conditional, based on appearance, achievement, or acceptance, but God's love is unconditional. He doesn't wait for you to have it all together to call you great. He sees greatness even in your broken places. The cracks in your story let His light shine through. Your wounds become the windows of your witness. That's why your pain wasn't pointless. It was preparation. And the preparation has purpose. You have influence you don't even realize. The way you speak, the way you carry yourself, the way you endure with grace, people notice even if they never say it. Someone's faith is growing because of your example. Someone's hope is being restored because of your perseverance. You may not see the fruit, but the seeds are being planted. You are affecting eternity in ways that only heaven can measure. This is what greatness looks like. Not the kind that demands attention, but the kind that draws others closer to God. It's a quiet radiance that speaks louder than words. It's a presence that carries peace. It's a spirit that lifts others up simply by standing firm in truth. And that's who you are, a carrier of light in a world that desperately needs it. Don't let the noise of culture drown out that truth. You are not too late. You are not behind. You are not missing what's yours. God's timing is exact. He knows when to reveal, when to release, and when to restore. The greatness He placed within you is unfolding right on schedule. And when the fullness of time comes, every delay will make sense, every tear will have purpose, and every scar will tell a story of grace. So keep standing tall. Keep walking in faith. Keep loving with courage. You are not becoming great. You are walking in the greatness that's already been declared over you. And when you move through life with that awareness, you no longer need the world to recognize your worth, because heaven already has. There will come a day when you'll look back and realize that everything you went through was shaping the greatness that now flows from your life. The tears, the trials, the lonely nights, none of it was wasted. Every moment had purpose. Every detour had design. God was not delaying you, He was developing you. What felt like breaking was actually building. What felt like loss was planting. What felt like silence was sacred preparation. God's greatness in you isn't a distant promise, it's a present reality. Even now, while you read these words, His hand is upon your life. He's still molding you, still guiding you, still weaving together every fragment of your story into something glorious. The moments you thought disqualified you are the very ones He'll use to magnify His glory. Because that's how He works, turning pain into power and struggle into strength. Someone recognizes your worth, and it's not just anyone, it's the God who formed you in the secret place. The same God who spoke galaxies into existence, looked at the world and decided it needed you. That alone is enough to silence every doubt. You were not an accident. You were not overlooked. You were chosen deliberately, intentionally, lovingly. Every day that you wake up is a reminder of that truth. The breath in your lungs is divine evidence that your mission is not complete. You are still here because there are still lives to touch, still hearts to heal, still purposes to fulfill. You are walking proof that God's greatness cannot be confined to perfection. It flows through those who are willing, not flawless. And that's the beauty of your story. You've learned how to rise, not because it was easy, but because grace lifted you. You've learned how to keep faith when it made no sense. You've learned how to stand when everything in you wanted to collapse. That kind of strength doesn't come from human will. It comes from divine favor. You are not here by coincidence. You are here by calling. The world may celebrate talent, but heaven celebrates faithfulness. And you, my friend, have been faithful, even when no one clapped, even when no one noticed, even when it felt like you were walking alone. You kept going. You didn't give up. You didn't lose your light. That is greatness. That is divine endurance. That is the evidence that God's Spirit lives inside you. So now, lift your eyes. Let go of the weight of needing to be seen. You are already known fully, deeply, eternally. God recognizes your worth. He calls you His masterpiece. He calls you chosen. He calls you great. You don't need to search for validation when divine affirmation already rests upon you. Walk with peace. Speak with purpose. Love with courage. And know this, your greatness is not ahead of you. It's within you. The same hands that shaped the stars shaped your soul. The same voice that calms the oceans calls your name with tenderness. And every time He looks at you, He sees brilliance, beauty, and divine potential. So when you face tomorrow, face it knowing this: someone recognizes your worth. Someone believes in your strength. Someone calls you great. That someone is God. And when He calls you great, no one, not doubt, not fear, not failure, can ever say otherwise. You are seen. You are loved. You are chosen. You are great.